this is Felicia, and welcome to another scrappy layout using my traveler's notebook. That photo that I just showed you there was of me grinding chocolate when I went to Belize in the summer of 2019. We got a chance to actually do the whole process from picking chocolate and from the tree and getting a chance to taste it as fruit, which was it was so delicious, you guys, and it was so sweet. Oh my gosh. And then seeing how it's roasted once it's turned into chocolate, and then grinding it. There is a process there that doesn't require roasting, and that is the fermenting of the chocolate. It's the seeds that come from out of the fruit. And let me tell you, the chocolate wine was delicious, by the way. It tasted very sweet and it was very good. And it was not brown like you would expect. It was kind of like a white wine, actually, matter of fact, because when the fruit comes off the tree, it's kind of white there. So it has a little hint of like little yellowish to it. So it was delicious. It was delicious, the chocolate wine. I didn't get a chance to get a bottle of that to bring it home, but I did get a chance to bring home a bag of cacao, which is exactly what it's like the big seeds there, what chocolate is, the form that chocolate is in before it gets grind and melted and all that other good stuff. So and then the chocolate does not have any sugar in it at all, so you're getting the actually 100% cacao, and let me tell you, it is bitter. Once it's been roasted and you grind it, it is so bitter. It has to have a sweetener, but oh my gosh. But like I told you, the process was the funnest thing I've ever done, and seen, got a chance to witness that. So I had a great time with that process. And the funny thing about it is when you're grinding on that grinding stone, there is a lot of wrist action that goes into that. So that was one of my many anthropology trips there that I have taken for a study abroad there in Belize. I had a great time. I think we were there for about 14 days. It took us almost a whole day to travel there, about half the day. And then when I got off that plane, when we got to Belize, it was hot and humid. It was both. But anyway, so I had a great time, though. I can tell you that. I got a chance to taste coconuts straight from off the tree, which gave me a buzz. Speaking of buzzes, they told us not to bite the seed in the cacao fruit because you'll get an immediate caffeine rush, and they weren't lying. I really did get an immediate caffeine rush and a buzz, and on top of the coconut, and on top of the fresh bananas. So I was buzzing. I felt like I was on something. It was crazy. And the crazy thing about it is I did not have a crash. So that is the difference between having fresh fruit from off of the trees and in an area that doesn't use pesticides. As a matter of fact, there were no pesticides on any of that stuff. And the coconuts were so good. Oh my gosh. Although I ate so much, many trips to the bathroom. And I laugh at that because I remember when we were all on the bus in Belize and we all had to go to the bathroom. It was about 18 of us, and out of the 18 of us, only 3 of them were men and the rest were women. And boy, let me tell you, that was a rush for the bathroom for all of us. But that was the best trip I've ever taken so far. And I learned a lot about the process of chocolate and everything. And I also learned a lot about how Hershey's, Nestle, I should say, got kicked out of the country. But that's a long story. They just didn't do right, so we'll just leave it at that. So they did get kicked out of Belize because they tried to do what they did to the people with the sugar cane a long time ago, and they tried to do the same thing with the chocolate, and the people of Belize was like, no thank you, and they pretty much kicked them out. They got behind that and kicked Nestle out of the country. So Belize no longer services chocolate for Nestle. So yeah, that's an interesting story. So, but the chocolate that we eat here in the United States is pretty much synthetic. A lot of it is synthetic. It's like 50-50. And the closest to good chocolate that you're going to get to is Actually C's Candies. They do put a lot of sugar in their chocolate, but C's Candy. And there's one more place. I forgot what it was. I think it was, I can't remember offhand, but that is the closest that you're going to get to actual real tasting chocolate that's sweetened, of course, because Gary Deli, that's what it was. I was trying to remember that. So those two companies really do use the chocolate that is actually real chocolate, and there's no synthetics in there. There are some emulsifiers and things like that that keep it on the shelf sometimes, but for the most part, we were studying that while we were down there about how the different companies have their different chocolate whatever. But Nestle is a big disappointment. I didn't know that. They were 50% chocolate and 50% synthetic chocolate. So I'm sorry for all you Nestle fans. I hate to do that to you and bust your bubbles, but that is true. I'm so sorry. If you are a Nestle fan, I do apologize. Anyway, so that is the story behind this photo here, and I did put that in the writing there on the left side of the traveler's notebook, a little bit of information on the chocolate and what it tasted like. But it was the richest chocolate I have ever tasted, and it will send you to the bathroom if you eat more than an ounce or so of that chocolate. Trust me, when it's in its chocolate form, it will definitely, because it's so rich, it'll just send you like pew, you'll be gone to the bathroom. I'm so sorry. I don't know if that's appropriate or not to mention that, but I just thought I'd mention that just in case you guys are interested. But anyway, so that is the story behind that. I am now putting in these two tags. Now, this particular layout that I'm doing with the Traveler's Notebook did come from one of my Traveler's Notebook sketches, and I decided to use that here on this layout. So it is a double-page Traveler's Notebook sketch. One side you can put the journaling and the story, and then the other side you would put whatever you need to put. And the secret or not, actually it's not a real secret. I did not put a title on this one because the little book down the bottom there that I put down there is pretty much what it's saying, just journal. Travel journal. So it says travel journal on that little sticker there. It's on the journaling side of the Traveler's Notebook. So I just left it as that because I really didn't want to put a title on this particular layout. So if you're wondering why I didn't put a title, that is why, because that little booklet down the bottom says it all, Traveler's Journal. And I just some of my layouts do have titles, like I said, the Traveler's Notebook layouts, and then some of them don't. So in this particular one it does. So, and in my sketch that I have for this, it's actually flipped. So the journaling is on the other side and the photo is on the left side. So the journaling is on the right and the photo's on the left. So I just flipped it this time, and so I can get a different look. And I actually like the way that looked, and I also like the way it turned out. So, but that is pretty much it on this part of the layout. I'm just decorating a few pages here and there, and putting some ephemera and some little washi tape down here and there on the notebook. But so if you're ever in the market for chocolate wine, Belize has the best chocolate wine. It was very delicious. I've had chocolate wine here in the United States, and it's not quite the same. But everything down in that country was so fresh and so good. It was just amazing. I was amazed at the food that I was actually getting a chance to eat, and I even ate a few of the dairy, and I didn't have any issues with dairy when I was down here. And I usually have problems with dairy here in the United States, but down there I didn't have any issues at all with the dairy. It didn't hurt my stomach. It didn't bother my stomach, and it was just, and then they have fresh black beans. So if you're a black beans lover, you would have loved the black beans that they served down there. They served them every day for breakfast, and it was your choice on whether you wanted to get some or not, but they did that. And then they had these little things called flap fritters or something like that. They were kind of rectangle. And oh my gosh, those things were so good. I think I ate a lot of food when I was down there. It was so good, the food was, and it was authentic, and you definitely had to wait a while, at least 30 minutes for your food to be cooked if you were going to any of the restaurants. And the hotel did a good job that we were at. serving us that the breakfast is like a breakfast buffet, and it was loaded full of food, full of fruit, full of, oh my gosh, and fresh squeezed orange juice. Oh my God, that was so good. I need to stop talking about this. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed this layout. I'm just tidying up here a little bit and putting some enamel dots in some areas. And these enamel dots are pretty flat, so they're not going to create too much bulk. I think that's about it, you guys. So I am out of here. I want to thank you guys so much for watching and listening to me rant. And have a wonderful, scrappy week, day, month, or whatever the case may be. Take care, guys. Bye.